Hello everyone, welcome to my class. Today we are going to discuss about the data handling and correction in dissolution. I am Dr. Zakir, Associate Professor, Department of Pharmaceutics, KLR College of Pharmacy. Let us enter into the discussion. Let us start with the definition. Data handling is the process of ensuring that research data is stored, achieved or disposed of in a safe and secure manner during and after the conclusion of a research project. This includes the development of policies and procedures to manage the data handled electronically as well as through non-electronic mean. Whatever the results they are obtaining, if the results has been protected, it has been saved, praised, if it has been preserved, then it is called as a data handling system. Nowadays, almost all the data is going to be protected under the particular software. So many softwares are available. In that software only, this data has been stored together. Now let us see description in detail, somewhat discussion about the data handling. The data handling is the process of ensuring that research data is stored, achieved or disposed of in a safe and secure manner during and after the conclusion of research project. Means once the conclusion has been done, then that data is going to be stored in a particular safe place. This includes the development of policies and procedures to manage data handled electrically as well as through non-electric means. Data handling is important in ensuring the integrity of research data since it addresses concerns related to confidentiality, security and prevention or retention of the research data. Means what their intention to say this word, their intention is that whether the data is been secured with the help of the electronical means it has been shooted means it has been video recorded, has been done, audio recorded has been done, or some interviews we have collected, or some procedures we have which is going to be telecasted, which is going to be recorded on the online media, electronic media. That is also called as electronic data. If it is not non-electronic data, means it is taken on the paperwork, handwritten words. That type of papers ought to be stored in the secure data, whether it is electronic or non-electronic mean. The data is very important because once the project has been completed, research work has been completed, to avoid to maintain confidentiality and also to maintain its integrity, to maintain the security of problems and also to prevention as well as retention of the research data. These precautions has to be taken for securing of that very confidential data. Proper planning for data handling can also result in efficient and economical storage, retrieval and disposal of the data. If the data is misplaced or it has been went to some other person who is not genuine person, they will misuse the data. There to avoid this all inconvenience, what the formulation scientists they will do, once the batch process has been completed, once the research work has been completed, once the project work has been completed, they will store at one particular safe place so that there is no misuse of that product should not be happen. Misuse of the data should not be done, because if the data is misused, what happen, it will not go for further claiming for the patent, because the data is disclosed, the data has been disclosed, it can reach to any common person. If it is reaching to one good person, then it's well and good, but if it is reaching to some another unknown person who is not proper, he is not using that in proper way, at the time that data can be misguided or it can be misleaded to so many other issues going to be come across. To avoid all these circumstances, once the project is completed, the research data is stored in the electronical mean or else in the non-electronic source. Considerations. What are the considerations or issues in data handling? So what you have to consider and what are the issues we are facing in the handling of the data? Type of handled and its impact on the environment, especially it is on a toxic media. Type of media containing data and its storage capacity, handling and storage requirements, reliability, longevity in the case of degradable medium, retrieval effectiveness and ease of upgraded to never media. Means what here, it should not disclose to any kind of media, whether it's social media or public media or print media, whatever may be the media source is there. This data, whatever they have done the research, whatever they get the values, whatever they get the images, columns, whatever it may be, this data should be preserved in a particular safe place. It should not given to any such persons whose causes misleading or mishandling with that data, thereby it causes again problem. It should not reach to the media persons, because Once it reaches to the media persons, they will use this data in other so many various different forms. To avoid all these issues, we have to take care, we have to preserve this data so that it should not be disclosed anywhere. Data handling responsibilities are privileged, that is, who can handle which portion of data at what point during the project, for what purpose, etc. it is used. It should be very well known, it should be very clear, and the points which is covered during the process of during the duration of the project, each and every point should be noted, each and every parameter has to be covered, and that all points has to be necessarily, it should be recorded and written in written format. It should be available. Such type of valuable information should be preserved very carefully. It should not go for any misleading of that type of information. That is called as the consideration. What we have to consider? We have to consider about the storage things. We have to consider about the reliability. We have to consider it about the longevity. Longevity means for duration of the time. It should be stored for certain years together. It should not be disclosed in between that years. Data handling procedures that describes how long the data should be kept and when. As I told in the previous slide, that is the duration of the data storing, how long you have to store and at what time you have to store. That all information should be preserved in the data handling system. How and who should handle data for storage? Not all the common persons, the experts, those who are there, only that expert persons are preferred or they are allowed to handle the data and to store the data. Sharing of the information, archivals, retrievals and disposal purposes. Deciding how long research data should be kept may depend on the nature of the project. If the project is not that much important, it means I mean to say that if the project is not that much required, it is for time bound, then the information can be disclosed after completing the time bound of that project. It also again depends upon the disposal, when it has to be disposal. Retrieval means when it has to be again changed, when it has to be archived. Archived means again what are the upcoming information are there that is stored in the data. Sharing from one place to another place, this data has to be stored or shared. All these things they have to be informed to the storing person, as well as is a professionally skilled person should be there who is handling the data. Sponsoring agencies guidelines ongoing interest in or need for the data. Cost maintaining the long run. Other relevant considerations under current health and services requirements, research records must be maintained for at least 3 years. After expenditure or report, after expenditure report means once the report has been finalized, once it is gone for storing area, it has to be stored for a minimum of 3 years duration. Federal regulation or institutional guidelines may require that data be retained for longer period. Data management. In the case of data stored or film or other toxic media, care should be taken to ensure that the disposal process does not pollute the environment. Means if the data has been stored in one particular place for 3 months, after 3 months then what is the next step? After 3 months the management is there, where the data has to be disclosed, has to be disposal. The management will decide what to do with the data. In case of data stored or film or toxic media is there in the form of a data, care should be taken to ensure the disposal process does not pollute the environment. It should not pollute the environment, should not pollute the land, it should not pollute the water, it should not pollute the atmospheric conditions. In such way the disposal has to be done. Data handling requires adequate planning. Proper planning should be done before we are handling the data. As I told, only a skilled and professional persons are valid or very much efficient persons are recruited for handling of the data management. Development of procedures should be done. So many procedures should be followed, should be understood how to handle the data, and the training and supervision of research staff to ensure that data is stored, archived or disposed of in a safe and secure manner that preserves the integrity of research data as well as simplified data management. So by following the procedure step by step, by following the each and every stage of the data management procedure, very important benefits what we are observing is that one is that we can maintain the integrity of the research data. Integrity means we can maintain the importance of the data. We cannot alter that data. We can maintain the integrity means importance. Benefit of the data can be preserved, as well as the data management can be simplified. The process of data handling is going to be simplified if you follow the data management procedures. In the next slide, we can see here that it is the correction factor, very important in the data handling system. Correction factor is measured to obtain accurate results or to calibrate the instruments. In order to get accurate results, the use of single time point dissolution calculation for the case of multiple sampling point will leads to multiple sampling points will leads to enormous erroneous results unless two correction factors are required. So correction factor is very much important. Correction factor is nothing but again recalling of the topic, what we can say, cross check, we can say simply like a cross check. Cross check is done not one time, it is for multiple times we can do the cross check by using the correction factor. To accurate result, calibrate instrument has to be calibrated to get accurate result. The use of single time point dissolution calculation for the case of multiple sampling point will leads to enormous result and good results can be obtained. One correction factor that is well known and easily accounted for is based on the facts that the dissolution media volume is reduced after each sample is taken. If the sample volume that is removed is replaced with equal amount of the dissolution media, a numberless correction is not required. There is second correction factor that is not well known in the industry, that is used by the researcher. Correction based on the plasma level data. The linear relationship between dissolution parameters and plasma level data are established. Parameters used for correlating in correlation based on the urinary excretion data. Then dissolution parameters are correlated to the amount of the drug excreted unchanged in the urine. Cumulative amount of the drug excreted as a function of time, etc. Correlation based on the pharmacological responses and acute pharmacological effective such as LD50 in animal is related to any of the dissolution parameters factors affecting IV/IVC. Complexity of delivery system, composition of formula, physicochemical properties of the drug, in vitro dissolution with plasma data. All these correlations are based upon the plasma level data, that is complexity of drug delivery system, composition of formulation, physicochemical properties, PCP we can say, of the drug, in vitro dissolution with the plasma level data. All these parameters are going to be studied under, that is the dissolution correlation based on the plasma level data, that is linear relationship is observed. Parameter used here are correlation based on urinary excretion data, dissolution parameters such as the drug excreted unchanged in urine, again cumulative of drug excreted as a function time, correlated based on pharmacological responses such as LD50 in animals is related to the dissolution parameters. These are the factors IV/IVC, in vitro in vivo correlations. Next we can proceed with another topic, that is level of correlations. Basically there are three levels we are observing here. 3 to 4 levels are there, that is level A, level B, level C and multiple level C. In level A, most informative and recommended information are provided in correlation method. It is the first method. In this first method what we are observing, which is the name we have given here, is called as a level A. It is a most informative, having very much information, also very much recommended. This level has to be performed for correlation. Whereas coming to the next level, that is level B, least useful in regulatory purpose. This is very much rarely where it is followed, but it is very least useful method in the regulatory purpose. Level C, useful for early stages of formulation development. In the beginning stages only this level is going to be performed. This level of correlation is used in the early stage of the formulation, not in the intermediate stage and not in the last stage. Whereas level A, this correlation is performed only in the initial level of the correlation formulation studies, not in the intermediate and not in the end of the formulation studies. Similarly, multiple level C, useful as level A. This multiple level C is nothing but its correlation is going to be studied as in the level A. As in the level A, how we are performing informative and recommended, the same way multiple level C is also recommended. Level A, it is defined as a hypothetical model describing the relationship between a fraction of a drug absorbed and fraction of drug dissolved. Drug absorbed and drug dissolved. To understand this relation, correlation A is followed. In order to develop the correlation between two parameters, one variable should be common between them. So to understand this parameter, either absorption should be known or dissolution should be known of that particular drug. Then only the level A correlation can be studied properly. The data variable is in vitro dissolution profile and in vivo plasma drug concentration profile, whose direct comparison is not possible. So the data variable means wherever the data is not available, either absorption or dissolution is not available, then in vitro dissolution profile and in vivo plasma drug concentration profile, whose direct comparison is not possible, to have a consider as a predictive model for relationship between the entire in vitro release time course. Now coming to level B. This is the intermediate stage, as we told in the previous slide. Use the principal statistical moment analysis. The mean in vitro dissolution time, MDT, mean in vitro dissolution time, in vitro 0 is compared either to the mean residence time MRT or to the mean in vitro dissolution time in vivo. Level B correlation, like level A, uses all the in vitro and in vivo data, but is not considered to be a point-to-point correlation. Now it is not a point-to-point correlation, but level B correlation does not uniquely reflect the actual of in vivo plasma level curve, because a number of different in vivo curves will produce similar means residence time values. Math tool, a mean dissolution time, MDT, as we have given here, mean in vitro dissolution versus mean in vitro drug dissolution, or MRT, mean residence time in vivo procedure has to be followed. Level C correlation, one dissolution time point. It is a one dissolution either at the time of 50% or at the time of 90%. Level C can be studied. Is compared to the mean pharmacokinetic parameters such as AUC, area under the curve, Tmax, maximum time, or Cmax, maximum concentration. It represents a single point correlation and does not reflect the entire shape of the plasma drug. At one particular point, when the drug has been reached to the maximum concentration, the AUC or Cmax or Tmax is going to be studied. This is studied in the level C criteria. Correlation, that is curve. Level C correlation can be useful in the early stage of the formulation and development when pilot formulations are being selected. While the information may be useful in formulation development, BioWaiver in general are not positive. Multiple level C, as I told, it is similar to the level A. It is very much required and very much recommended. This level is very much recommended and almost all it is required. Several pharmacokinetic parameters of interest, AUC or any other suitable parameters to the amount of drug at several time points of the dissolution profile. A multiple point level C correlation may be used to justify the BioWaiver, provided that the correlation has been established over the entire dissolution profile with one or more pharmacokinetic parameter. If such a multiple level C correlation is achievable, then the development of the level A correlation, a multiple level C correlation should be based on at least 3 dissolution times points covering the earlier, middle and the last stage of the dissolution profile. As in the earlier stage of the slides, previous slides, as I told, this multiple level C is nothing but the similar to the level A. Multiple level, that is level A correlation, where it says it is recommended as well as it is compulsory required, because this level of correlation can be studied at any stage of the formulation, any stage of the dissolution profile, either the starting, middle or the last of the dissolution profile. The correlations can be used. One correlation factor that is well known and easily accounted for is based on the fact that the dissolution media volume is reduced after each sample is taken. If the sample volume that is removed and replaced with an equal amount of the dissolution media, that is sink medium, maintaining of the sink medium, a numerical correlation is not required. There is a second correction factor that is not as well known in the industry and is the subject to these notes. Although this second correction factor has been used by other researchers, which is a private communications, published a reference to this correction factor has not been found, whereas this correction is small. It is of the same order of magnitude as correcting for the reduced volume. Therefore, the accuracy used. This second factor corrects for the amount of drug substance that is lost from the media due to the sampling and has sometimes been neglected in subsequent calculation. Simply, what they have to do, the correction discussed in this note adds back the amount of drug substance contained in each sample volume to the cumulative amount calculated at a subsequent time point. It is straightforward to account for both the volume reduction and the drug substance loss is in each sample is a single formula. The amount of drug substances that is lost due to sampling of small volume versus Vs is C1 into CV into Vs, where C is the concentration of the drug substance in that volume. Taking the volume reduction and the drug substance losses due to sampling into account, the dissolution values for the first 2 time points would be calculated as shown in equation 1 and 2 after sample 1 and 2 respectively. So amount of the drug dissolved, that is C1 into V1, amount of the drug dissolved C2 into V2 plus C1 into V. In equation 1 and 2, V1 and V2 are the volume of the dissolution media at the time of taking sample 1 and 2 respectively. Drug dissolved is calculated with general formula. Here is the formula mentioned. For a single time point sample, the correction is not required. For multiple samples, the correction becomes more important as the number of samples increases when a smaller dissolution volume is used. In terms of percent dissolved A, rather than drug concentration, the general formula for calculating corrected value of the dissolution at the nth time point is easily generalized from the previous discussion. In equation 4, that is the last equation, that is the measured percentage dissolved at the time point I corrected for the volume but not for the loss of assay due to previous sampling. And an example will illustrate the method. The starting dissolution volume is taken as 1000 ml, that is 1 liter, and each sample size is 10 ml. The dissolution has already been measured at a 3 times point, that is 30 ml is taken into the account. The volume reduction due to sampling with equation 4 can be correlated. Correction due to drug loading A in each sample is shown in the table. So serial number of the number of serial numbers samples taken, how much time it is collected, dissolution not corrected for drug removed, correction factor, and dissolution corrected values. So see here in the serial number 1, time taken for the sample withdrawal is 10%, that is 10 minutes. Dissolution not corrected for drug removed is 94.5. Correction factor is nothing is there starting because it's the initial time, and dissolution corrected value is 94.56. And similarly at the time 30 minutes. So numerical example of equation 4, based on that example we have drawn here the table. This is the thing. Thank you one and all for bearing with us, and kindly make sure that whatever the notes is provided here, you should not consider it as a final notes. You have to go for collecting the information from these slides. You have to go for updating yourself from various textbooks, as I told, journals, internet resources. We have to go through from various resources. You have to collect the information. Then at lastly you have to prepare the notes. Then from there you have to go for preparation for your final exams. This video is just an informative purpose for you, not you consider as a final thing. And if you don't prefer to write in the exam as such as it is, you cannot able to score the marks here. You have to elaborate the discussion, you have to prolong the topic, you have to use so many examples, because all the things cannot be covered in this video. That's why we have outlined the topic for the discussion. So by taking it as a just one example for you, then you can prolong, you can extend your discussion, prolong your topic, prepare a notes, and have a wonderful discussion. Thank you, Varendra.